So one of the greatest things about, being a family business, a family-run dairy farm is I get to work with my parents and more specifically, I get to work with my dad every day. And we share the same passions, we share the same vision for the business. So when I came back from college, we were milking about 300 cows in the facility that was built between the 1960s and the early 1990s, kind of kept adding on to it. But we'd been at that 300 cow mark for a long time. We could see with the business that wasn't the right size for us. We were too big to be a small farm and too small to be a big farm. We couldn't do the quality of work that we wanted to do. We had some small expansions planned, but it wasn't going to allow us to grow in the future. So finally, we took a couple years and really focused on the financials of the business and getting really good at where we were, and then pulled the trigger in 2006, built a brand new green site facility. So it was literally a cornfield the fall before. The following spring, we started construction on a 600 cow barn and a brand new milking parlor. That's the same year I came back from Cornell. With the building of the new facility, there was a space for me here, there was a need for me here, so came back to the dairy and was able to, just kind of alleviate some of the pressure with Dad spending a lot of his time worrying about this huge investment and new expansion that we were building. I could take some of the burden off, just helping out where I could. So one of the greatest things about being a family business, a family-run dairy farm, is I get to work with my parents. More specifically, I get to work with my dad every day. And we share the same passions, we share the same vision for the business. But there is a generational difference, right? There's differences in how we approach not only work, but our social priorities and things like that. Growing up, we were a lot smaller dairy, so he didn't have as many employees that he could fall back on and couldn't really approach things as a group, so it was all on him. As we've grown and I've started a family, that allows me a little bit more flexibility with my personal time, right? I can go to my daughter's dance recitals, I can go to their gymnastic meets. My wife and I love the Adirondacks, so we can go up there and go hiking and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily things that my parents were able to do, but it's something that I think we've worked really hard to be able to get there and really focus on family as much as the business. A lot of the assumptions, dairy farming is a 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-year job. And while it is a lot more than a 9-to-5, and these animals need our care and our responsibility, we're people with lives and families and interests and hobbies as well. So that's one of the beautiful things about approaching this with the team approach and having a great group of employees and other family members that we can trust, that we can take some time off and stuff that, and I think that's something that's really changing with the industry as this generation and my generation's coming up, trying to find that better balance. So our farm here is located in Copenhagen, New York. We have 1,200 and so odd cows over here, and it's over double the population of our local community. But it's very important to be a part of this community, not only as an employer, but just as a member of it. We try to be involved on local boards. So some of the stuff that we sponsor helps the community, but it's also things that we're passionate about. So there's a Healthy Kids running series in the community, and it's geared to get kids active and running. My girls are a part of it, and after the first season that we did it, we thought, boy, what a great opportunity to sponsor this and to get chocolate milk out to all the kids after the race, right? It's the perfect refueling food. Two things, right? It helps support something we're passionate about, but it also gets the word out, the nutritious dairy products that we produce and how good they can be for you. People don't necessarily, I think of dairy farms as economic drivers, but we're part of a very small community here in northern New York. We have 18 full-time employees, so we are an economic driver. We do have economic impacts here, and we've got families that work here. Right now on the crop seed, there's a set of brothers that work here. Our head feeder, our calf manager, and then one of our new hires are 3 brothers. So that sense of community, that sense of family, I think really shines through when there's so many families working here on the farm.